Shalom YouTube, welcome back. Sister Kate here, Sister Kate Show Farm Mountain. I'm getting down to the last 3 videos that are on my poll list. I think there were 15 total that people replied on, and they were all great topics. Some of them have gone to many views, which it depends on my channel. Sometimes the views aren't as many, and sometimes there's more. So I really appreciate everybody giving me that feedback, and I'm working my way down. And so this one is on how to transition from a professional life to a homesteading life, and I do have an answer for that. But first, I wanted to show you, we have had some serious growth here in the last month. The whole area, if you remember some of my videos, looks like a jungle now. And this little doohickey, oh, where is it? Right there, was not planted by us. It just started growing, but I wanted to show you. This is a wild grape, and we have many on our property. And somewhere in here, right back here, am I getting that? Yes. Those are little teeny grape bunches. So we are going to have some grapes, hallelujah, in the Shemitah year. Thank you, Father. And hopefully I will make some more wine. The wine I made last year was really good. I liked it a lot. And I would love to be able to make more of it and be able to gift some people with some and also store some for future years. But last year's wine, I did let people taste. I even took it to Florida with me and shared it at a wedding down there. And was able to keep just a little teeny bit all the way up to, I think, Sukkot last year. And maybe even beyond that. And that made me happy, just to know that it was something I produced and that we were still enjoying it. It didn't just, I make it and then it's gone. I was able to enjoy it over many months, which also makes me happy. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand. And I am going to walk a little bit because I did have one other thing to show you. You see back there? Those guys are, I call them rescue ducks. They look very normal to you, I'm sure. But Pastor Joe did a Patreon video on them recently, and when I bought them, they came from horrible conditions, horrible. They were overcrowded in a not huge pen with like 100 birds in there, chickens and ducks, manure everywhere. Their feathers, you saw there that their feathers have kind of flipped up and look normal. They were filthy, and their feathers were all clumped up together. And they were really scared. Now the guy didn't ask a lot of money, so I paid the price because I figured at least I will get them home. And in 3 or 4 days, they have recovered to the state you see them in now. They're just now starting to look around the property too, because they are so scared and they were so overcrowded. I don't know that they've been able to be outside amongst green stuff, but I'm really excited about them. So I did want to show you that. So let's talk. To go from a professional life to a homesteading life takes time, usually, and planning. Hopefully in your professional life you have been saving up some money. Hopefully you have some savings. If you don't, you need to start saving. You need to start paring down on all those things that you're spending that professional life money on, like the $8 coffee every day and going to see movies and eating out and buying yourself new clothes every week and so on. You need to start thinking about your nest egg for your property. I don't know where you live, but even if you live in an apartment, you can start working on skills for your homesteading. You can container garden, you can take first aid classes, you can try to build something while you're in your home with your electricity and everything, because you will be building when you are homesteading. At the very least, probably building some sort of small sheds, coop, duck house, dog house, some sort of shelter for your goats. You can also start reading books. There are excellent books on homesteading. There are excellent books on outdoor living. Carla Emery's Encyclopedia of Country Living is one of those books. It's been around since the 70s, and it's an encyclopedia. It's huge. Has everything in it. Also, the Reader's Digest Back to Basics book. It's available online. I bought it in thrift stores for $1. It's a big book. It's usually yellow on the front, and it covers all sorts of things like training your draft horses and setting up your orchard and so on, gardening, everything. So either one of those books is going to help you get started, and you will want to start reading about the things that you are going to be doing on your homestead. If you're going to be a homestead that has cattle, read about how to take care of cattle. If you're going to be a homestead, oh look, someone's just checking things out. If you're going to be raising chickens, go to the chicken section. There's also books, I don't know if they're still in print, they're called story books, S-T-O-R-E-Y. They're like 30 pages long, and they're basic books on things like how to raise a modern duck flock, how to raise the modern chicken flock. Great basic books. Again, if you're going to do sheep and you're going to shear your sheep and you're going to card your wool and spin your wool, start researching that now. Buy yourself some cards, get yourself a spinning wheel, and order some wool from somewhere and start practicing that stuff. Find out what medicines your sheep are going to need, what kind of shelter, how old they are, what are you going to shear them with. If you're going to try the old-fashioned scissory kind of shears, I think you should practice that, because they're a lot harder to use than they look. And I live off-grid. Even if I don't do sheep shearing, but if I were going to, off-grid, I'd use my generator, just because the electric ones make the job so much faster. There's a series from Australia called McLeod's Daughters, and it was a TV show for like 9 years, and multiple times in that series they show people shearing sheep and how they do it and how fast they can do it. So you might want to watch something like that. Then do research on where you think you might want to homestead. If you think you want to homestead in Texas, then find a county in Texas, go to the courthouse, online, digitally, and research things like what land sells for, what tax, like a 10-acre plot pays every year. Find out if they have any rules or regulations about water, because in Texas, water is going to be a valuable commodity. Find out how much a well costs to drill in that area. The other thing about if you're going to homestead, you want to understand if you're going to buy land and it has not been surveyed, you're going to want to pay that $1,000, $2,000 and have it surveyed. You are going to want to find out if your land's going to have fencing, if there's going to be a building on it, because to homestead, it's a lot easier if you buy property that already has things on it, like a house, a barn, fences, a pond, etc. You can do it from bare land, and we bought this land bare mid-90s, I think, and the real estate agent at the time, one of whom was also the owner, insisted we come and see it before we paid for it, because they wanted us to know how rough it was, and at that time this place was in a drought and there was none of this growing. It looked like high desert. So those gentlemen were being honorable and wanting us to be prepared for what we were going to buy before we spent our money. Then in your professional life, you're going to kind of want to let your boss know, and your team and whatever, that you are going to be leaving. And we have seen people do it many different ways. Some people just quit and go. Some people look to see if their professional job has some sort of office in the area where they're going to go, so they can transfer from wherever they are to wherever they're going. Let's just say you work for Lowe's. If you're in Florida, you let your boss know, hey, I'm going to be moving out to, let's just say you're going to Utah to homestead. Hey, I'm going to Utah. Are there Lowe's near me? I'm very interested in transferring. Because you don't always have to just cut ties. You can do this thing gradually. Also professionally, let me think about that for a minute. Do you have a 401k? Do you have a retirement plan? How is that going to transfer? Do they come with you? Do you want to leave them in place? Do you want to let them continue accruing? Can you do that if you leave from where you are? Do you want to cash them out to pay for your homestead? Because if you do, there'll be taxes involved there. You know, you want to look at all aspects of the homesteading picture before you just leap into it. Having said that, people leap into it and they land on their feet. Some people leap into it and they fall down. It's totally up to you and how much information you have and the decisions you make to how your future life is going to be set up that make the difference in whether you're a successful homesteader or not. So my advice to you is to research, plan, make smart decisions that are going to further your goal, and think about how you're going to move. Think about how you're going to move. Is your company going to move you? Are you going to have to move you? How much stuff do you want to move? How much stuff needs to go with you? Your tools, do you have fence wire? Do you have a well head? You know, that's going to be part of your whole situation too. Are your children in school? Do you need to take them out at the end of the school year? Can you take them out in midterm? Are they homeschooling? If they're homeschooling, you're just going to pack them up and move them, no problem. Find out what the new laws for your state, if you move into a different state, find out what their laws are about homeschooling. Trying to think if there's anything else. You just don't want to do this blind, I guess, unless you're that kind of person who's like, Father, catch me and you leap. I don't recommend that. I recommend you be mature, studied, and take those decisions that are going to make your dream come true. That makes sense. Oi, they just want to know what's going on. Can you say bye, YouTube? All right, thanks for watching, you guys. Shalom, bless you.